Joy Behar and the rest of the clucking Karen house known as The View have some absolutely insane words today for young men and men in general, where they're basically saying that all young men are sexist. They're all just the worst. And this is happening right at the same time where Democrats are trying to appeal to young men by doing absolutely insane things like this. This woman right here is the secret weapon that the Democrats are now using to try to convince young men to vote for Democrats. And for any young men out there who are watching this video, let me know if this is enough to convince you, this woman right here, to vote for Democrats.
But she hangs out with frat boys, guys. She loves the young men so much.
Yeah, that's not going to work out whatsoever. And now today, Joy Behar just made everything worse for the Democrats by the insane things that she was saying about young men on The View. This is only going to continue to drive more and more young men away from the Democrats.
Since Trump scored big with young male voters last election, Democrats are spending $20 million to learn how to speak their language. You heard it, $20 million just to talk to boys. So is this a good idea or a waste of money? What do you think?
Well, I think it's the wrong way to go about the problem, because the Democrats are asking, how do we get male voters? The disillusionment of men is, how do we care better about our men and boys? Like, it should be about how we solve the root problems that drove men and to feel like they had nowhere to go. You don't say, how do we reverse produce it to get a vote? It's a waste of money, and it's a vapid approach at a real problem.
Well, the Democrats have done a fantastic job of doing that, of stripping away everything from young men, berating young men, saying you can't be a man in today's society. You can't have any sort of masculinity whatsoever because that's toxic. It just goes on with all sorts of nonsense that the Democrats have continued to push over the years, time and time again, where they just bash young men over the head time and time again with nonsense. And young men are sick of it. They are tired of it. And that is why they're turning away from the Democrats, all right? So Joy Behar then said this in response, and this is just absolutely insane.
Talk. And so, to me, speak to the folks.
You want to know what I
won.
think? I think it's a waste of money. Maybe these guys should spend their money on teaching men to not be such sexists. Maybe that's
But the stats don't bear that out now that we've seen the election results.
You hear all the libtards in the audience there?
Oh, yeah! F young men! Yes, them! All those sexist young men, those misogynists.
Yeah, that's gonna work out really, really well for you guys. Yeah. Keep saying this type of nonsense. All it's going to do is continue to drive young men to want to actually support men who are masculine, which the Democrats obviously do not know anything about whatsoever. They continue to put up the most soy individuals imaginable and try to say, yeah, Tim Walz, he totally relates with young men. Totally. Tim Walz, the guy who wanted to put tampons in young men's bathrooms.
Donald Trump performed better than the previous several Republicans with most every people group. He did better with black men, better with Latino men, better with white men and white women. Like, it's just a fact that he has tapped into something. And what I think
But he was running against a woman, I'm telling you.
But I'm saying that men showed up more for him. Oh, so you think that Democrats who were with Biden in 2020 left to be with Trump because they're sexist?
I don't know the reason, but it's very suspicious.
But I'll say this.
That is just the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. Oh my gosh. It is so stupid. They just can't admit that Kamala Harris was an awful candidate in every way possible, and nobody liked her. They can't admit that. They can't admit that Trump is doing something that is appealing to young men. They can't admit any of these things. It is all, at the end of the day, once again, this is only going to drive more young men away from Democrats. All they can boil it down to is that young men are sexist. We're at a point right now in our culture, we're at a point right now in our society where young men need more support than ever, okay? Young men need to be inspired. Young men need people to look up to. Young men need people that will come to them and say, you know what? You are someone who can do great things. That is the type of stuff that young men want, and that is exactly what Democrats are not doing whatsoever. So, with that being said, let me know what you think about this nonsense. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you all in another video very soon.